Hello guys, we have a 6-game NBA slate for November 11th, this Veterans Day, and starting off looking at it for point guard, James Harden's at the top. For me on this slate, I don't think he's going to be a priority. This is a terrific spot though, obviously, for the Rockets and the Pelicans, both sides. The Rockets are currently fourth, and the Pelicans are third in terms of possessions per game, so they're going to be in a very fast-paced environment, and this game total currently is sitting at 242 and a half, with the Rockets only favored by 4.5. So it's supposed to be a very close and high-scoring game. So definitely James Harden is going to be a big part of it, but I think that there's other pieces in this game that I can get, which are or who are much cheaper, and so you don't really need to pay up for Harden. As of now, if there's value that opens up, then definitely you can go up to Harden. For now, though, I'm going to try to pay down a little bit. Luka 10.4K, same thing. Just he's finally over 5 digits for his price, and certainly he deserves that. But this is a tougher matchup going into Boston. Boston has a lot of good defenders like Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, who can definitely make it harder for Luka. And 10.4K is also just a price thing. He's a guy that's been getting a lot of triple doubles, but in a slower matchup, a very good defensive team, I'm going to try to look elsewhere. Now, Russell Westbrook, I think I prefer him as of now, though, because the Pelicans are currently the team that gives up the most DraftKings points to opposing point guards. And this is an amazing matchup. There's no Lonzo Ball, so his defense is gone. Drew is a good defender, but we've seen just how fast the Pelicans play and the team defense that it really doesn't matter. The extra possessions, all of that make up for it. Russell Westbrook is one of those guys that excels in fast-paced environments, and this is certainly one. His price is down at 8.8K. I absolutely love this play though, and I actually think that his ownership might be a little bit lower than what it should be because of his recent form. The people who are game log watching, they see or they just see like, oh, he's nowhere coming near close to value, but his minutes have been down. There were some games that the Rockets were blowing out teams, or he also got hurt in one game. He's not shooting too well. And this is the game that I think is a get right spot. He definitely does not deserve to be priced down here, so I really like Russell Westbrook. Now going down a little bit, Drew Holiday, 7.4K, really like him as well. I'll probably play him at shooting guard so I can play Westbrook at point. Same thing. The Rockets, they are an amazing offensive team, but they do struggle defensively. We've seen against like the Wizards giving up a whole lot of points. With the Pelicans being at home, I do think that this game should be able to stay close. The spread thinks so too. And Holiday hasn't been playing that great as well, but with him going back to point guard, which he should be again for this game, his assists went up. His points, he didn't shoot all that well, especially from three, but look at the points that he still got. You got 40, which is above 5x, and his price actually went down. So I really like the kind of minutes, everything, his role now when Lonzo's gone. So this is going to be a terrific play, going to be one of my favorites as well, along with Westbrook. And then going down a little bit more, Mike Conley, 6.2K is interesting because he's been having a horrible start to his Utah career. But Golden State, they're not a good defensive team. They're getting back Draymond Green, but he's a big man. He's not going to be guarding Conley. And this is the matchup that you can take advantage of. Golden State's not good defensively overall, and Utah's going to get paced up a little bit. Conley seems a little bit too cheap, 6.2K. Even though he hasn't been playing too well, he still has some pretty solid games, and we know that he is one of those players that is borderline all-star, so he should be able to have a good game here against the Warriors. And then DeJounte Murray, 6K, he's not getting his minutes. He's still playing mid-20s limited, but Ja Morant is not that great of a defender. The Grizzlies are playing pretty fast so far this year. They are actually the sixth fastest pace in terms of possessions per game. And I just think the pace overall and how great of a fantasy player that Murray is, this is still a very viable play at 6K. And then looking down more, I think maybe for value, you can look to Shabazz Napier if he's playing against Detroit, or more down Emmanuel Mudiay if you think this game maybe blows out, or Tim Frazier, who's now down to the minimum again if Derrick Rose ends up missing. But Blake Griffin's probably back, so Frazier's probably not going to get a whole lot of minutes. Now on to shooting guard James Harden. Already talked about him. Same with Luka. Donovan Mitchell, 7.3K is interesting. Same thing with Mike Conley. I do think Mitchell has a significantly better ceiling than Conley, but there is blowout risk. But with Draymond back, I think that definitely helps to lower that. And also, this game is in Golden State. Mitchell's a guy that can definitely go off for a lot of fantasy points. This is a pretty nice matchup against the Warriors, as I mentioned before. He's just a guy that's taking a whole lot of shots this year, and he's a guy that handles when Conley's off the floor, and he's a guy that will go in and get some rebounds too. And he's a pretty solid defender, so there'll be some steals. So I like Mitchell at 7.3K, but more tournament for now. Jaylen Brown probably going to be a little bit popular, 6.3K. With Gordon Hayward out, Brown, Tatum, Kemba, but Kemba's a little bit too expensive for my liking. I think Brown takes a step forward. Same thing with Tatum. I do kind of like Tatum a little bit more because I think he is just more talented offensively. But Jaylen Brown, he definitely has the upside because he is a lot cheaper than Tatum and Kemba. He's a guy that's going to take probably for sure mid-range, mid-teens and shots. At least he can take threes. He's a very solid defender. Rebounds doesn't really help you in assists, but that's okay. He's 6.3K. Should be playing some pretty heavy minutes as long as the game stays close. They're going to need his defense out there against Luka. So Jaylen Brown, 6.3K. I like him. Fred VanVleet, 6.9K. I like him as well. The Raptors, they are without Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka, but they are on a back-to-back, so there is a little bit of concern. And also Patrick Beverley's most likely going to be guarding VanVleet a lot. But I think the opportunity, the minutes, everything is going to be there for VanVleet. And I think a couple of games down the line, VanVleet's probably going to be inching towards 8K as a play because he's just that good without Lowry. Looking down, Marcus Smart, he's going to pick up probably the start at shooting guard, and his minutes are certainly going to be there, especially they're going to need his defense out there to guard Luka. But his offensive game definitely has a lot left to be desired, but still, he's a guy that's going to get heavy minutes, so you can take a shot on him. More GPP for now. Norman Powell, another Raptor, 4.2K. It is a tough matchup. They're on a back-to-back once again, but he's going to get more minutes. Nick Nurse doesn't really trust a whole lot of guys. He definitely try to play more guys, and guys like Chris Boucher and like a few other guys got the minutes, and they play pretty well against the Lakers off the bench. Powell, he should probably play over 30 minutes. The bench was playing well. That's why Nick Nurse decided to ride them a little bit more in the fourth. But Powell, he still did really well at 4K. His price is only up $200. He's a guy that can is known for his offense. He can score the ball. And at 4.2K, his upside is probably capped. Around 30 is probably his upside, but his floor certainly is okay because he's a pretty good scorer. So there's definitely a nice floor. And on to small forward. Kawhi Leonard, 9.4K at the top. Revenge game, but I mean, there really isn't really any revenge here. He won the championship for Toronto. He made the decision on his own to leave. And here, though, without Paul George expected to still miss this game, Kawhi Leonard is going to be still doing a whole lot out there for this Clippers team. If you look at his numbers so far, he's underpriced. He should be 5 digits in price, and he's a guy that's getting a whole lot more assists than we expected, and he's rebounding a whole lot, and we know him, how great of a defender he is. He's not shooting too well, actually, but he's still putting up crazy points, and he's pretty much put up 50 almost every game, and he's not over 10K, so he's an excellent play. Cash, probably, if you want to pay up. And if there's value that opens up, definitely I'm going to take a shot with Kawhi if the chance is there. Next is Brandon Ingram, 7.8K. Another piece from this high total game. I really like him as well. They already played once this year, and that game there were, I believe Lonzo was, I'm not sure I think Lonzo actually played that game, but just the pace, everything, that game ended up having a 126, 123 total. And Ingram was, his rebounds probably aren't going to be 15, and he had a pretty good solid offensive game, but those shots are supposed to be there. He only took 12 last game, which still he was able to put up 42 DraftKings points and he had 7 turnovers. So I think he's going to be taking a whole lot more shots than that, especially in this game environment. And his price went down 200. So I really like him, just the pace and everything. PJ Tucker guarded him last time. It really didn't matter. He's got a few inches on him, and he's become a very talented offensive player. So I like him. I don't think it really matters how many players you play from the Pelicans and the Rockets side of the ball. I think they're all excellent plays. So I think a game stack certainly could work here as well. Now going down, Jason Tatum, 7.5K. I like Ingram more, so it's going to be tough to get to Tatum, but he's certainly got 50-point upside, especially without Gordon Hayward now. He's been one of the main guys for the Celtics team, and when you take out Hayward, his minutes, rebounding, a little bit more ball handling possibility, he's a very good play. This game should be close, and compared to like where he was last time, his price actually went down a little bit, and his role is going to be elevated here without Hayward. So I like him. And if Daniel House were to be out, I like Eric Gordon a little bit. But again, this guy just hasn't been really playing well, 3.9K. But the matchup, the pace, this game's supposed to be so high scoring. If House is out, Gordon probably picks up a few more minutes and a few more shots. So as a value play for now, probably something else is going to open up. So I'm probably not going to end up playing him. But just right now, a guy that's under 4K. Now onto power forward. Siakam's going to be playing heavy minutes, so certainly don't mind that, but it's a tough matchup. The Clippers are very solid defensively. Kawhi probably guards him quite a bit as well. Down below, though, 7.2K, Kristaps Porzingis going to be returning from load management. The Celtics have given up, I believe, the 5th most points to opposing power forwards, and the Celtics do not have the size to guard Porzingis. A lot of their big men are undersized. Enes Kanter has the size, but he's one of the worst defensive big men in the league. Porzingis at 7.2K. This price is pretty low, and he hasn't been this cheap all year. He's not on a minutes restriction anymore, and he's a guy that, he's 7'3", so he's going to be shot blocking a lot, and he's a guy that can get you a double-double. Not the best rebounder, but definitely he's a tremendous player. Minutes are going to be in the mid-30s most likely, and he's got a tremendous offensive game. Everything's there. Averaging 39.2 so far. That's definitely, that means he's way underpriced. So I like him at power forward. Now going down, Jaren Jackson. Prices up a little bit. He most likely isn't going to be guarding Aldridge though, because Aldridge has been starting at the center position. But a guy like Trey Lyles is more of a stretch 4, so he's probably not going to have a lot of foul trouble risk. Certainly if he gets switched on to Aldridge, it's going to be a big concern. Every time, no matter who is on the opposing team, Jaren Jackson's just a foul machine, so there's a whole lot of risk. Not the best matchup compared to last game, but still, he's a little bit underpriced though because of the upside. But just know that he's more tournament worthy. And then Kendrick Williams, if he still starts at power forward, he still is an interesting play, even though his price went up by 1,000. He is a guy that just does a little bit of everything, and if he's going to start, he's probably going to play high 20s, low 30s in minutes. And at 4,300, I like him a lot. I probably prefer him over Eric Gordon as of right now for a value, just to play down in that price range. And then Chris Boucher, 3.4K. He's a guy that the coach has said he can play small forward, power forward, and center. He played pretty well against the Lakers. He played 24 minutes. He was blocking a lot of shots. He was just very active out there, finishing around the rim and everything. He only got 2 rebounds, but he's more known for just his energy, his defense, and he shot 7 for 11, getting a lot of layups, dunks, close shots. And he's a young guy. He's a guy that's probably going to get a lot more run. He's going to play like the Serge Ibaka role. And if he gets that role, 3,400, that's going to be way too cheap. Really like him as a value play as of now. And we know the Clippers are pretty weak against big men. They get just absolutely toasted against opposing centers, bigs, because of Harrell being just undersized. So he makes for one of the best value plays as of now. Now moving on to center, Andre Drummond and Karl-Anthony Towns are going up against each other. Towns at 10K, I've looked at the past games where these two guys have faced off, and Towns has gotten into some foul trouble. He's actually had some pretty bad games, going like 18-7, 14-12, 16-9, 16-8, 24-4. He's fouled out in a couple of those games as well. And if you look at Andre Drummond, the concern is that Blake Griffin's going to be back, but most likely he's going to be limited. And Karl-Anthony Towns is one of the worst defensive centers in the league. Drummond is now down to 4 digits again, and he plays better at home. We know that. And I think a lot of people are going to be scared away from Drummond, which makes him very intriguing for tournaments, especially if a guy like Derrick Rose is still out. Drummond's games against Karl-Anthony Towns have been very, very solid. And these are the games that they faced off in. This is starting back from the 15-16 season. Drummond has had 21-11, 23-18, 22-22, 12-18, 15-15, 20-16, 16-16, 31-15. He's had a double-double in every game, and all these double-doubles are like not barely double-doubles. They have been absolutely crazy numbers, and that's without to mention his defensive stats, which we know he usually is going to get. And then you add in all the assists that he gets. If Derrick Rose is out, Tim Frazier is going to be back, but that still means there's going to be some ball handling opportunities for Drummond, and he hasn't really had foul trouble against Towns. It's been Towns that has foul trouble. So I really still like Drummond here if Blake Griffin's going to be limited, because I think everyone's just going to think about how Drummond's roles is going to be a lot down. His usage isn't going to be there, but I think Drummond still has a lot of upside. He's one of the best rebounders in the league. He's been tremendous so far this season, and his minutes are still going to be there. So I really like Drummond here as a tournament play. And going down, Rudy Gobert 7.6K. The Warriors certainly aren't a good center against, a good defensively against centers. So I still like Gobert 7.6K, but probably upside's not there. Capella 7.3K. He's gonna be more popular than Gobert, but the minutes have been insane for Capella recently. Probably he's not gonna play that crazy amount of minutes, 42, but I don't think he needs to, because in this game where there's gonna be a lot of shots up the fast pace, there's just gonna be a whole lot more rebounds, and I think the Pelicans, they're gonna be able to still play big. They play Favors, they play Okafor sometimes, Hayes. They have a lot of big men that are gonna be out there that are playing minutes. So I think Capella's not gonna be run off the floor here. He's been rebounding the ball tremendously. We've seen him being injured, or there have been reports of him being hurt, but the same thing happened previous seasons, and he's still been able to put up double doubles with ease. And he's a guy that can get you a lot of shot blocks or block shots as well. So Capella 7.3K, I think he's still interesting because of the matchup. And now LaMarcus Aldridge 6.3K. This is just a very underpriced player. 6.3K for Aldridge, a guy that's averaged 32.8 points. That is down for what we've seen, and he's a guy that just randomly disappears at times. But the Grizzlies, they've been giving up some really good games to centers, like Vucevic recently. He had a very solid game, and Aldridge, we know he plays better at home. 6.3K is just way underpriced. He should be a mid-range 7K player, but he's just priced like he's not, and we know what kind of post player, offensive player Aldridge is, and he's been blocking some shots this year too. He's a guy that can absolutely dominate, and if he's just got his mid-range game going, post-game going, he's really looking for a shot. This guy has a crazy amount of upside. So 6.3K going to be one of my cash locks most likely for this slate. Marcus Gasol 5.4K is interesting because the Clippers, again, they get gashed by opposing centers. Gasol isn't really the same so far this year. His usage hasn't just been there at all. But this certainly could be a game where we see him get a double-double, and at 5,400, that certainly would be enough because how bad the Clippers are at defending opposing centers. And then Derek Favors, 4.7K. Probably gets to start again, but he played really well last game. I think he's still underpriced, but keep in mind that he is still a little bit injured. He's not 100% yet. The reporter said that during the game, but he still looked all right. He actually showed off some really good passing skills. I remember watching that game. He was getting passes in the paint around there, and then he would just be looking out and finding the open man in the corner for three. And that's how I think all three of those assists came from there. And he's a guy that can do a little bit of everything. And 4.7K, again, the matchup in the fast-paced environment, there's going to be a lot of shots up, so a lot of rebounds for both teams, both sides. So Favors, if he gets the minutes, not going to be in foul trouble. Certainly 4.7K is a pretty good price. Now, for my favorite overall plays, Russell Westbrook, probably my favorite play right now, and then Drew Holiday and Brandon Ingram. These three guys come from the same game, but I just absolutely love them. I don't think it's a problem having these guys because it's by far going to be the highest game total. And then LaMarcus Aldridge, 6.3K. And I think Boshear is probably a nice value play for right now. There he is. So for right now, I really like these five guys. It's mainly the top four. I think those are going to be my absolute cash locks, depending on how the value opens up. But I really like those four guys, these four. But Boshear's going to be a value play. You're definitely probably going to be looking to a value play that's down there. But for now, these four are my favorite players. Tournaments, cash, both. Really like them. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below. Also leave a comment if you have any questions. My Twitter will be in the description below. It's at Podfuls. You can also add me on there, DM me, and please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these videos, and I'll make sure to keep rolling these out. So thank you guys for watching again, and see you in the next video. Bye.